So welcome to Bunny's Designs. This is a live stream with live peoples having a natter in chat, recorded for Ustream.tv and also for YouTube for people to watch at their leisure. I'm working in my Mythomorphia by Kerberazan, and I'm on the the angry octopus page because he's smashing a ship up, so he's obviously in a bad mood. So I want to work on the octopus itself today, so I'm using phthalo green and phthalo blue, and then I'm using a phthalo purple, I think it's called, and that's with the Dr Martins Hydrus. But I've put them into here, so I want to work with them. So I've been favouring number 4 because it's just quite nice. It stays wet enough to kind of manoeuvre things about. So I'll zoom in. If anybody's got any questions, pop them in caps. And I'll see if I can zoom in. And we'll get started. So let's see if we can read that. So that's what I'm working in. My rigger, Daily Around it Aquafine. Just see if we can just brighten that up just a touch. That's as good as we're going to get, I think. So I'm going to try and manoeuvre the page around. It's a little bit difficult sometimes, and we've got that crease, so again that's not going to be the easiest thing to draw with, to paint rather. So dunking the brush and twisting it on a baby wipe, and then just touching the colour barely. And I'm still trying to use some of this phthalo blue up, so again just a touch of Hydrus, and the blue's on the outside. This gorgeous vibrant blue, and it's not particularly watercoloured down, but because I have a damp rigger that's slightly bigger than the other one, it's going to give me that beautiful watercolour effect. Whoopsie. Now you really should turn this round and be more comfortable, because obviously I'm not, and I should practice what I preach, because now I've gone over the line. So again, that should have been green, but I'll remember next time. So I'm hopefully going to put a sky in there. Now touch the green, because I want to bring some green in there. And then we can blend it together. Now it's quite a damp brush, this, probably a bit damper than I normally work with, but it's fine. It's going to manoeuvre that gorgeous colour all around. And I've got my palette in front of me rather than on my left, because I don't have any space, and also my hand isn't particularly very good, so I'm kind of not far away from my palette where I can dunk into it, and I find that's just a bit easier to work with when I'm not very well. So we'll just space a bit of that out of there. And we can touch the blue to get... I have to turn the page round, I'm afraid, so I can get to this awkward side. Otherwise it won't work as well. So again, just pick up some colour and manipulate it down there. It's never going to be an easy space, that. and it's never going to look like it matches because it's way out, so we can't really faff with it too much. Just do the blue and then bring that back up blue. A touch of green, and it's, as I say, really an odd angle is this, so bear with me. So unfortunately my hands are not working particularly well today, which is why I thought I would do Digi Thursdays, but my laptop's playing up as well, so it's one of those things. So apologies if you were thinking you were going to get some digi art today. I have to play it by ear. It depends how I can get on when I get down onto the desk. And again, it depends with the girls. You know, if the girls, like yesterday, the girls were here, you can't really stream because, bless them, they want my attention because one's just left home last year, so she's kind of still a bit kind of miss my mum. So I need a bit more green on that, I think. But of course, they still want to come in and out the house as they do. So there's doors banging and talking to me and asking me things. So it's not very professional. So it's a lot easier just to think, well, I've wasted today, and let it go. But I do try to get, on a good day, 4 videos out if I can. So hopefully that's enough. And I can't put my my arm back any further than this, so I have my palette on the opposite side. But if you're left-handed, you need your palette on the left side. If you're right, you want the palette on your right. I'm only doing it this way because my elbow won't go backwards anymore, and so I don't need to move my elbow very much. And then we've got some purple little suckers. So I'm trying to give those a little bit of different colour as well under here. So it's nice to get a bit of a variation as well. So, you know, let it go pale at some point and then touch again just a little bit of colour and get some dark in there. You've got to keep remembering to have just a barely damp brush to manoeuvre that colour around. Now these hydrus have almost dried out again now, so again you can get more control over them when they're dry. And they are professional, and they're supposed to be light fast, I think. So bear with me 2 seconds. I'll just do this tricky bit and then I'll watch chat. I keep missing chat. Oh, thank you. Oopsie. Oopsie. Oh, do I know when I'll be doing the Derwent pencil comparison? I think I've done. I've done a couple. What I was going to do, I'd forgotten about that. What I was going to do is well, I've done a couple of videos where you can see the difference. One video's on the pineapple, and they're the exactly same colours because I tried to match the colours up. So if you watched one of those, the Derwent, I think it's in mythomorphia. Have a look. Avalanche. Have a look. Yep, it's in mythomorphia, and it's the pineapple page. So this one is the Derwent ink 10s, and I matched the colours up to the pineapple. I think there's about 12, 15 colours here. Matched them up, scratched them, bit of colour in, and then manipulated them with a damp brush. Did exactly the same with that one. Matched the colours up and manipulated it with a damp brush. So if you look at these two, if I just very carefully try to lift the camera up, and pan out. Oopsie. That's the difference. And there isn't much of a difference. Oh, the vintage ones. Yes, I could do that this afternoon, actually. I could do that this afternoon. Yeah, I could do the vintage colouring this afternoon, couldn't I? I'll do that next. I'd forgotten about that. I'll do that next. That's my problem. I need to write a bit of a to-do list when I'm streaming. So apologies for that. I did say it would be this week. Thank you for reminding me, Dazzle. Thank you. So we'll get the pencils out. They are actually all over the place, so I can get them out. And again, if I'm sometimes not sure what something is, I'll leave it rather than do it. So I just need to turn round now. Oopsie. Yeah, I'll do that this afternoon then. That's quite good. So just shut that for a second so I don't make everybody sick. My daughter's been watching The Ghost Hunter. Is it on CBS? Oopsie, it's a flag. And they went to a mansion that was haunted. Sorry, not a mansion. They went to the house that was haunted, and it's somewhere in America where there were 6 people murdered. And of course they've been watching that, and they said, "Oh, we've got ghosts here." So I said, "Oh, we've always had a ghost in this house." And we've got these bunnies upstairs, and they keep stamping, and it's like somebody's upstairs. but there isn't anybody upstairs, so it's quite it's quite strange that I usually think, oh, there's a bunny upstairs, oh, the cat's upstairs, he's going to eat the bunnies, but there isn't. So again, I can kind of morph a bit of that colour in if I want to there. I might as well work on this one while I'm here, because that one's difficult as well. So start with the blue. And again, I think this phthalo blue in the Hydrus and the phthalo green are such wonderful sea creature blues colours. Really like them. And again, it's not really my imagination. I'd probably want to look at an octopus and colour it in the colour that it actually is. So this is the best of my imagination I get. I don't really get wonderful ideas. I'm probably a copyist. I can't if I'm doing a scene and I'm using a book, drawing a book, I have to have a book in front of me. I can't make it up. So I make the initial designs up, like when my daughters are all kind of portraits. They're all in a book, in a room of books. So I'm going to have to turn this and be a bit more careful now, and I'm actually going to work this way around for this one, so apologies if I'm a bit upside down. Oh, welcome back, Caroline. Thank you for popping back. This is going to be a bit tricky, this one, I think, because if you're not concentrating and there's a bird, you can very easily. So now we've got to the mixture that I mixed before. Oops, that's nice and dark. So the bunnies keep moving about upstairs, and it's like my daughter's in a bedroom, but she's not. But she's not, so it's a bit scary sometimes. So I've gone over the line a little bit there, but and you do that if your brush is too dry, and so it's always a good idea to try and keep it just barely damp, because when it's too dry it scrapes across the paper, and then it catches on the next side where you didn't want it. It certainly sounds like there's something big upstairs. Oh my goodness me. So a bit difficult to get under there, but it'll come, it'll be fine, and then blend it to that blue. Oh, thank you, Dancel Desires. Thank you, Kenny. I do like these colours. They kind of get me away from traditional colours, so I kind of like working like that. Now this, I made this phthalo blue. Sorry, I made this phthalo phthalo turquoise from mixing a phthalo blue and phthalo green. And of course I've now got to the stage where I've got a lot of that blue missing, but I think if it's going to be a bit paler in certain places, that makes it a bit more realistic. It's a lot less Disney, if it's, which is wonderful, is Disney, but sometimes I don't want Disney. And it is fairly quick, this way of working as well, so again I like that idea. So we'll put him up the right way around. And I couldn't resist doing his eye, so he's got some, so he's going to be kind of all green, I think. It's going to be quite bright blue on top, so I may have to go to a bit bigger brush. And start from that side. I'm going to do that quite dark, so I do want that phthalo blue colour, and that is a little bit damp for me, so I nip the brush and take a little bit out without disturbing the end, and that instantly sorts that problem out of too much water on your paper to make it buckle. So that's kind of one eye done. So this bit is going to be dark to go around there to dark to light. That's a bit too green really, but it'll blend really nice to a very soft colour. And again, I quite like those. I like the idea of that, nice soft colours. And you just get a feel for when this brush is just getting a bit not damp enough to blend. I'll have to stick to my middle brush. You can go back in and play, but it's a good idea to let it dry first, because you kind of might end up rubbing the page, and we don't want to do that. We've got a bit of a different variation. Oh, sorry, I was off camera then. See, it's a bit too bright, is that? But I'm going to let that dry. Don't want to mess about with it too much. Sorry. Thank you. Yeah, sorry about that. I think I'm going to darken this bit up here a bit. Should really wait, because you'll buckle your pages if you don't wait. So we've got this bit here, this going into the waves. So I think this is going to, where it's going to be the turquoisey blue colour. So I think that's how he's going to kind of morph into the water. And this next bit here. So I think you might want a little bit of green. And again, there's lots of nice lines on there, so you can actually see what you're doing. You've just got to concentrate a little bit, because I really want these white waves to kind of pop out. And then I don't have to colour them over with anything, then it's done. I don't have to mess about, don't even have to go back if I don't want. What I do now will stay with it. So you're touching the surface once instead of having to go over it lots and lots of times. I do like to work quite fast with this way. It's just quite nice. And again, you can tell when that paintbrush is getting dry. And you want a nice transition from blue to green if you can get that. It's quite good. So of course down here we want the sea again, so I'm just going to move that because I've got my... So we need the sea now here, so I'm going to do this sea there, and then it's done. So I think this one is the cobalt blue. And that's just a little bit. Just a little bit too blue is that one. So you can work off one paintbrush. If you found you put a bit too much on, so you're in complete control of this area, which is, really what you want. You want some nice control on there. Sorry about that, but I can't get to that. So we've got some nice soft blue waves up there. Quite like some of those. So I think possibly now I can go back in with this dark. and in that corner. So by the time I put all this dark down here, the dark isn't going to be that dark anymore. It's going to be a few shades paler. Just need to get into there. So when we touch this, it's going to be a few shades lighter. And then it's going to get paler and paler. I'll be with you in a minute, guys. Just got to concentrate on this, because you've got to kind of play around with it a little bit. So just want to be... I've still got some quite pale blue on there, so I want to kind of keep going to get some pale blue images. I think that could be palest blue. Wasn't as pale as I'd wanted that one, but that's fine. See if I can just lift a bit of this up. Sometimes you can. Because after all, it's a watercolour. But I don't want my page to buckle. So I'm just going to go behind. And it's nice to show that it's actually a different blue than the octopus blue. I think I dipped in the wrong colour then. I went into the French ultramarine then. So if anyone's got any questions, pop them in caps. Thank you for stopping by and saying hi, and hope you enjoy the day. If you're watching on YouTube, thanks for watching. If you've got any requests or any suggestions, pop them in the comments box, please. If you subscribe, you normally get notification when I come online, so because sometimes it's a bit different times for me. I try to stream all day Thursdays until Emma at about 3:34, and on a Tuesday. And then very early on in the UK, the rest of the week. So I'm going to do this big wave now. So these hydrus go a long way. I'm just barely touching the palette, picking up a lot of colour. And if you variegate different sections, you get different amounts of shade and colour, so it looks that little bit more realistic. And apologies for being fairly quiet, but I'm trying not to cough. So I'm just trying not to cough too much. So again, when I get to this one, it's now got very pale. So it's naturally a really nice pale colour, but it is still blue. And then if you've got one the same, you can go over it again and it'll just darken it. Excuse me. So again, the different ones, the different shapes. Oh, it's a bit awkward to get into this corner. But I really like this because you can go away in your own little world and just colour in, and it's quite nice. So there's an awful lot of waves in this book, but it is the sea, so I want that quite dark under there. And then that looks like octopus blue, that's and again, I'm quite lucky that I've managed to get those two colours to be completely different. This kind of gorgeous phthalo blue. I don't know what I touched there, but it's fine. it wants to be dark anyway, so actually that's quite nice. Oh, I knew I did that. I did that last time. Never mind. I won't be able to lift that off. It's just too dark, is that? But I can morph those two together. So thanks for stopping by, guys. Sorry it's a bit of a quiet just trying to keep move the camera back. Trying to keep off the damp baby wipe with the page, but it's not always working. So, oh, there could be a bark alert because next door's dogs are barking. So, apologies in advance for that. So hopefully I should be streaming tomorrow. We'll have to see what happens. It's always difficult making videos and streaming when the girls are home. So we should be back to normal. Although next week there won't be any videos next week. I'll try to do some on Monday. I have to see. Oh no, I can't. There won't be any at all Monday because I volunteered at the Abbey, so just for a couple of weeks there won't be a lot of streaming and a lot of videos. So I hope you all have a good Easter. Oh, thanks, Kenny. I thought about putting videos out with music behind, but I'm just excuse me. I'm just desperately not trying to talk, so that I can just kind of carry on. But I think I quite like watching videos in real time. I get quite bored. In fact, I don't actually have time to watch a lot of videos. I do try. I do try and watch them. Oops, I'm on the wrong blue. And this is my cobalt blue, and I shouldn't be in my phthalo blue, and I was. So, and it just makes a little bit more interesting. So if you can get to a better position or turn your page around, it's always easier to do that, because your paintbrush is likely to smudge. And I just forgot to put this paper under there. My photocopy paper just makes it a bit easier to work on. It just makes it that tiny bit easier to work on when you've got a kind of an edge. Got a little bit of variation going on down there. I don't know what this particular thing is, but I'm going to do that dark. I would think it's part of the octopus, but it's not going to look like anything anyway, so. And then just got a little bit more, and we've got some more tentacles there. No music, please, Kenny. Okay then, no music. It's not so much the talking, I just don't want to cough, because once I start coughing it gets kind of silly. And I forgot my inhaler this morning, because I say jumping out of bed, it's not it's not good for me. So I just remembered why my breathing's a little bit croaky. So I think I would have that dark blue. And that's a little bit of a paler blue. So you can quite easily get from palest to darkest about 10 shades. So I think, again, this is a real quiet way to work, just manipulating the colour around a little bit. As I say, I think you can get about 10 shades from one. So that's not bad. I actually want this one the palest, so I'm just thinking if I can squidge a bit of colour out of there, just to give it the edge. So it's very slightly off-white, because that one wants to be white. But when I go back in with this one, that white one's going to pop again. So again, I need to just morph that one. Got a bit more sea there, and I think then we're going back to the octopus now. Sometimes you just need a little bit of dark, just to give it some contrast. So again, damp brush. You've got to give it a little bit more interesting. Oh, thank you, Suzanne. Suzanne's put the kettle on. Yeah, that would be a good idea. What time are we going on to now? Just a few more minutes, and then I'm going to I'll stop this video and I'll have a play with the Derwent pastel pencils. As I say, you can always go back in a bit later if you feel that there's something missing, but I kind of like this fairly quick way to work, so I'll just move that across, and you can see how little I've used from there. There's still quite a lot of blue left, so the green's gone, fairly bit of green's gone. So it's not so bad for a few days, a couple of days. It's not that bad. Let me just see if I can do that without making everybody completely sick. See? So that's what we've got done so far. So we've started him. So that's 2 days, or a couple of hours, 2 or 3 hours. So that's not so bad. To have quite a nice watercolour effect. So I'm going to put a sky, I think. I'm going to put a sky. So that should be quite interesting. And then we've got this scale to do here. So it is fairly flat, it's dried quite nicely. So that's my mythomorphia, angry octopus page. End of part 2. Thank you for watching.